Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for stopping by here on this mailbag edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. This comes from our Wednesday live show that we do here on the channel where we answer you guys' questions you send us in real time, whether it's through super chats or using the hashtag Seahawks. The 12s let their voice be heard here on this show. And if you may be saying to yourself, I want to be a part of the next mailbag edition of the show, you're in luck because you can be by subscribing and turning on notifications. You'll be notified when we go live on the channel, when we have new content. You'll stay up to date. If you're a real member of the 12s, you got to be subscribed to Seattle Seahawks Today. Type Noti Gang in the comment section if you got those noties turned on for a shout-out. We'll show you some love, and we'll get started with this mailbag edition of the show. Dan the Man Miller with a $50 super chat. Bang! Says, Seattle only has about $2 million left in cap space. What do you think the plan is to free up more cap? Well, Dan, glad you asked. Very interesting situation for the Seahawks, as you have to have at least $10 million in cap space to sign your draft picks, okay? So with that being said, we know that the Seahawks are not done making moves because they had to go get money to, at the very least, sign their draft picks. I think they've done all the restructuring they could possibly do at this point. They restructured Geno. They restructured Tyler Lockett. A number of things, right? I don't think there's any more restructure candidates out there. So at this point, I think you're looking at potential trades of unloading contracts or cuts. That's what I would expect at this point, is that you'll see the Seahawks try to get some money off the books, see what they can do to free up that cap space and go from there. That's what I expect, is some cut casualties here in the coming days. Cason Reyes with a $5 super chat. Bang! Says, who is your favorite signed player in the offseason? Jones, have you got a sketch impression yet? Sorry I missed y'all work. Is getting busy. Hey, Cason, glad to be here. Thanks for checking in. My sketch impression, not that great. I'll leave it for Smitty. That's more his guy's sketch. But sketch is kind of taking the NFL world by storm these days. Favorite side player this offseason? I got to tell you, I really like me some Rayshon Jenkins. Seahawks bring him in from the Jacksonville Jaguars, where I thought he was a pretty underrated player. Had, I believe, 2 picks last year. He's going to come in right away and start the safety spot. And you look at what they've done with what the Seahawks did this past offseason. They found some value pieces, right? They did not pay a lot on Jerome Baker. They did not pay a lot on Rayshon Jenkins and some of these other guys that are going to be starters on their defense and are going to be impact players. I think Jenkins is going to be an upgrade from Jabal Adams and Quandre Diggs. I'm very intrigued to see what he brings to the table. Cason, thanks for the $5 super chat. And then, a first-time super chatter, one of our favorites around here. D. Weller says, do you think it's better to go with whoever is best available at 16 or go with a specific player? So here's my idea. When it comes to the 16th overall pick, there is a list of guys that I have in mind, and maybe John Schneider has in mind too, that if they are available at 16, you have to take them. That you cannot go to bed that night without taking one of these guys if they're still on the board when 16 rolls around. If not, then you could potentially trade down and see what you can get and go from there. I think, though, that there's too many obvious needs that the Seahawks have to shore up, where the needs are going to take priority over the raw talent, if you will. And that's unlike John Schneider. He's always been kind of a draft for best available, best talent guy. But personally, I think the draft strategy going in is, here's the players we like that fit these certain positions of need, and we'll pick certain ones depending on where they're at. Brian Bosworth says, are there any players the Seahawks could trade up for? So there's one name to watch. And let me preface this by saying I think it's highly, highly unlikely this happens. But there's one player. The Seahawks, it's no secret, they have really liked J.J. McCarthy. They've met with him at least twice, maybe even 3 times by now. Mike McDonald saw him firsthand when he was at the University of Michigan. And McDonald's guys that came with him from Baltimore and from Michigan, the rumblings are they all like J.J. McCarthy too. Granted, McDonald didn't coach him directly because McDonald was the defensive coordinator and McCarthy was at quarterback, but he's seen enough of him to know what he is. I think if McCarthy was available at 16, the Seahawks would greatly consider taking him, even though quarterback's not one of their biggest needs, but he's not expected to fall that far. I think he's going top 5 at this point, the way we've seen his stock skyrocket over the last few weeks. And the teams that are going to be looking to trade, make a deal to go get J.J. McCarthy, they got a whole lot more to give. A whole lot more to give up, potentially, than what the Seahawks could give up, where they would get outbid if they decided to do that. So I don't think that they're going to trade up, but J.J. McCarthy would be named to watch if he slips. Should the Seahawks trade for J.J. McCarthy? Y for yes, in for no. Weigh in our pinned comment today and let us know what you think if the Seahawks should make a deal to go get the Michigan quarterback. Get a great deal. We're offering Seahawks fans right now. Go to chatsports.com/Seahawks hats, and you can get yourself a Seahawks hat for a limited time with free shipping. Yes, you heard that right. You see the hats on our screen right now. There's plenty more to choose from as well. Chatsports.com/Seahawks hats. Get yours today. Take advantage of that free shipping. Plenty more to choose from besides just these right here. These look good. I personally like the throwback version myself. I like the flat bill too. But go see for yourself all these options we have available. Chatsports.com/Seahawks hats. Free shipping as well. Link in the comments and description of today's video. Dan the Man Miller with a $20 super chat. Bang! Who do you feel might be a cap casualty release player? Following up from his previous question. Okay. Hear me out on this, folks. This might be a little bit of a hot take, okay? But it's no secret that Draymond Jones underperformed dramatically last year. And that is a bad contract. If the Seahawks were to move on from him, it'd most likely be a post-June 1 cut. And you can designate the cut. You could potentially move on from him now and designate it later. Do I think it will happen? No. But if the Seahawks are desperate for cash, that could be a route that they decide to go. And think about this. Kind of wiping your hands clean, if you will. It's not Mike McDonald that made that contract. It's not his fault when it comes to Draymond Jones. This could be a chance to just wipe your hands clean and move on potentially. But I would be very curious what they do with Draymond Jones because no one's going to trade for Draymond Jones and take on that awful contract as far as that goes. But we'll see, Dan the Man. The Smitty Committee. Do you think any Seahawks players will get traded during the draft? So there's one name for me that catches my eye of a guy that potentially could be traded. Don't know if it's necessarily a draft trade, but a name nonetheless over the next few weeks, and that is Tre Brown. What we've heard is that the Seahawks are kind of scouring the market, if you will, for corner options that, in theory, they would like to keep Devin Witherspoon at the nickel position and that they would like to get another starting outside corner besides Rick Woolen. Mike Jackson, they've always been kind of wishy-washy about. Tre Brown, he's had his moments, but they've never really committed to him fully. Look, I think Tre Brown's starting outside corner in this league. Now, he's definitely bottom tier, but he's good enough. And there's enough teams out there that need corners. And knowing how the Seahawks have treated Tre Brown, I wouldn't be shocked if somebody gave them an offer that they liked to get an extra draft pick, whatever it may be, and part ways with Tre Brown. So Tre Brown could be a name potentially to watch. Should the Seahawks should they trade Tre Brown? T for trade, K for keep. Get in that comment section. Let us know if they should trade Tre Brown or not. All right, got time for a few more questions here. Gerald writes, thoughts on Tre Jones, make or break season for him. I told you, I think there's an outside chance he's a cut candidate. But if he's back, absolutely. All the pressure is on. Because coaching's not an excuse anymore, right? You got the coach you wanted now. You got the defensive scheme and all that where he should perform and play at a high level. If he can't put it together now and play at a Pro Bowl level, he won't ever. This is make or break. I think Tre Jones is back. I don't think he gets cut or traded. But all the pressure to be on to get this right and get it right now. Motivation Vault says, do you think we should go Penix at 16, or is that too high to draft him? I don't think Penix is going to be picked at 16. I think he's going to be closer to the end of the first round, maybe the second round. I'm not opposed to drafting a quarterback at all, but the Seahawks have bigger needs right now. I think that you can get by with Geno at the time, for the time being. I like Penix, but I don't think I'd be picking Penix right now at that 16 spot. Maybe you could find a way to trade back into the end of the first round if he's available in the second round, but you got too many immediate needs, particularly the offensive line, that need to be addressed at 16 at the moment. Jacob says, are we going to get more depth at running back? Jacob, I mean, they have to. They don't have a choice. They only have 3 running backs on the roster right now. With DJ Dallas, of course, gone. Brian Kobach surprised everybody and retired this week. I mean, you got Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, and Kenny McIntosh. You're not rolling with 3 running backs. You'll go get more running backs. I don't know who they're going to sign, but yes, they will bring in more running backs. Subscribe now to Seahawks Today for continuing Seahawks coverage, the latest happenings in your favorite team all off-season long. Certainly excited about the NFL draft here in a few weeks. We're ramping things up. We'll certainly talk about it each and every day here on the channel. Until next time, I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining.